Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maryam Bay, and as you know by now, I am the host of television, and I'm so happy to be here. And today I have another fantastic guest who's been on the show before. This is your second time coming on the show.
That's right.
And you look so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I know that you are a new mom.
Yes.
Like 2 years ago, I think it is?
Just about, yeah.
Just about, yes. Okay, and I remember when I wanted to bring you back on, that was when you told me that you was pregnant. So.
Oh, yeah.
And you look so beautiful.
Thank you.
So I'm just excited to have you on today. So if you don't mind, could you introduce yourself to the audience?
Of course. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Angie Smith. I am the Director of Admissions for the National Career Institute, which is a vocational school that is primarily based in East Orange, New Jersey, but we also work with Governor McGreevy's Reentry Initiative, where we actually teach in Kearney, and we also work with a lot of different reentry agencies.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been with them for almost 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how is that?
It's rewarding, it's challenging. Sometimes it's tiring, it's happy, it's a lot of different emotions when you're servicing the community.
Yes.
Period, you know. And then trying to help them to transition into a new phase into their life. Sometimes people transition is a scary thought for people sometimes. So it's not like people just come and say, hey, this is what I want to do. We go through multitude of things like, how are you eating? Do you have shelter? Are your kids okay? Are you okay?
Right.
And sometimes I step out of just trying to help you get in school, and I kind of end up becoming your friend, your counselor, confidant, you know,
Right.
and that part is rewarding.
Right.
So, but, you know, it's also, it can be tiring at times, because the more that you do something like this, the more that you see how people are so hurt and how things, I guess, people, places, and things and experiences, the strong impact that they have on people in their lives.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And what I like about what you said is that is when you get clients and in your position, you're helping them to get trained and get the education that they need in order for them to get the employment that they need, right? And as you already know, because you just kind of hinted to it, it's not just about getting that piece of paper,
Right.
because people are going through so much. It's just like for those who want to work. A lot of people should not be working right now because of all the stuff that they're going through.
Right.
And you don't know when somebody's gonna like flip the script because of anything because of what they're going through. So what you're doing, I should say what the National Career Institute is doing, is looking at it from a holistic point of view.
Yes, because we do understand that the end goal is for you to have a different way of life, a different way of living.
Right.
And I usually try to tell some of the students, the currents and the perspectives, I said, do you see what's going on around here and what's going on in your neighborhood right now? All these different developments. You have new apartment buildings, you have Lionsgate's studio, you have ShopRite being, completely redone, new apartments, new houses. And I usually ask this question, do you know how much that rent is?
Right.
And a lot of times, they'll say, oh yeah, well, we can't live in there. I'm like, but this is your neighborhood.
Right.
Why can't you?
Right.
And sometimes we're so used to surviving that we forget to live.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Now, because you just mentioned something about all of the building that's going up. And I know that the National Career Institute, you focus on the construction trades.
Yes.
And I also know that you have a program with I think it's with the
reentry?
With the reentry, yes.
Oh yes.
Those are the next guests.
Oh really? Oh, that's great. Yeah. So we work very close with all of the NJRCs and the New Jersey Reentry Corporations. And we're just really trying to help people to get to the next step. And so like what we do in Kearney, we train them, but we also make sure that they have transportation, they're eating. We make sure that they have the essential soft skills that they need once they complete the program. And sometimes certain people need to be in places that are a bit more structured so that they can focus more on learning.
Right. Now you're talking about the brothers and sisters that's in reentry.
Yes.
Right. So tell the difference between a soft skill and a hard skill.
Well, a soft skill can be something like whether it's an interview, whether it's computer, literacy, whether it's what to do, what not to do during an interview, what questions, certain things that you should know, where a hard skill is basically what that specific skill is, what your trade is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now do you find because I know that with HVAC, I get a lot of requests for the HVAC training because it deals with the electrical as well, and HVAC is heating, air conditioning, and ventilation.
Yes.
Right, and I think that is a great skill for them to have. Because the reason why is because the background is not an issue. What is the issue? Do you have the certifications to do this job? Right,
because technically, when any development corporation comes into your neighborhood, they're supposed to at least hire about, I think it's like 40%.
40%, yes.
Yes, of the individuals that are in their neighborhood. But if you don't have the skills, you don't have the certifications, they can justify why they have to bring their own manpower.
Exactly, and that's what we try to tell the brothers and sisters that we work with, because a lot of times they'll complain that they can't get the job. If you don't have OSHA 30, because it used to be OSHA 10, and that's the certification for safety, knowing how to safely do your job on site and everything. So if you don't have that, if you don't have the other certifications that they're requesting, then they can't hire you. And then that's why, as you just mentioned, we see license plates from Pennsylvania or from Delaware, because those people are qualified. And what I like too with the president's new bill, the Build Back bill, it's where he has included funding for the highways, the streets, and they're going to require certain certifications for that. So right now, getting these brothers and sisters prepared for that, when it finally comes through, they can apply for those jobs in our neighborhoods. Right,
in our neighborhoods, and then you're keeping the dollar in your neighborhood.
Right.
Some of the things that I find out though, sometimes when I talk to people that are interested, students, prospective students, they have a high expectation, but a lack of commitment. So it's like, I should be making $20 an hour.
No. And that is just too funny when they do that.
and I'm like, I'm gonna have to break you down and then pick you back up.
Exactly.
Why do you deserve that? Tell me, why do you deserve that?
Like, what are you bringing to the table?
And then, and whenever I ask that question, they get speechless.
Right.
And they're like, well, because I do, like, I'm not gonna. I said, you have to start from somewhere.
Right.
Okay, your life can't be what you know of it from the past, because you're gonna continue to stay there.
Right.
And so sometimes, you go. I worked with individuals where it's taken me 2 years to enroll them for an 8-month program. I had to convince you for 2 years.
Right.
For an 8-month program.
Right.
And then I'm just like, and like we were talking, and I told you that I kept thinking about what I wanted to really focus on, which was the new beginnings.
Yes.
Because everything that I'm seeing now, more so, there's a lot of people that don't have high school diplomas. And it just seems like, I'm like, where were they at? They're like coming out of the woodworks. I don't have a high school diploma. And I don't judge. I mean, things happen.
Right.
But it's like, so the lack of education, a lot of people are dealing with mental health issues, especially with coming through like COVID and, losing family members, not being able to support them, being isolated. And then now we have new diseases that the monkeypox. Things are, it's like every time you turn around, we're getting slapped in the face.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's tough. And so the littlest thing ticks people off.
And see, that's why we have to be careful what we say to people, because we don't know what they're going through.
No.
And just like you said, just one little thing can just make them go crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and the mental health right now is just so important. That's why, like with a lot of brothers that I work with and sisters, when they come to me, I'm looking to see if they have any mental health issues.
Yes.
Because it needs to be addressed.
It does.
And so a lot of times I will refer them over to DVR.
Yes, I do the same.
Okay.
Yep.
So they can get that additional help, because we help them. They do some of the same things, but they do more because they address the mental health piece. And that's real important.
And and being in like positions such as yourself or myself, you got to be trained to be able to read people's body language.
Yes.
You just don't know. Sometimes just trigger words can just take somebody completely, you know, off of like their path.
Right.
It makes me feel bad because it's something that wasn't really discussed in this community for a long time.
Right.
It was more so like, oh, well, you know, she's special or he's special, or we just ignore it. You know, that's just who you are. And that's not the case. These people actually needed additional help.
Yes.
And now people don't really feel, I think now people are getting more comfortable with speaking about things and talking about things, especially the brothers.
Right.
Because
that's important.
These brothers need to cry.
Yes, they do.
They need to cry. I mean, people are like, wait, they need to cry. I believe a good cry would keep a bullet in the gun.
Yeah, because it's healing, and they need that. You're right, but we already know with them, their pride does not allow them to, you know, it's macho.
Yes.
You know, so that doesn't allow them to cry.
Yeah, the man
or
up.
or to really express themselves. But then I think it also too depends on the environment that they're in, who they're talking to make them feel comfortable enough to express all of this and to get them to understand this is how you need to go. This is just a suggestion. We're not telling you to do this,
right?
But we're just suggesting it to you, right? You know what you think about it,
right? And that's what I was just talking to my team in my department. I said, I wish I could have a camera in here. This is a reality TV show. I said, these people come in here to us for one thing, but then once we're going through this journey with them, we find out so many other things. So we're in there happy that you're getting ready to start school, but we're in there crying with you because we know that you have other obstacles in your way, and we're trying to be that person to lend an ear, and we're always big on resources. I believe in connections.
Yes.
I love resources because if I can't help you, then I know where's somewhere that you can go.
Yes.
And we can refer you. And I'm telling you, the mental health, people being homeless.
That's a big one.
Yes.
Because you know they're releasing people and they have no place to go.
Yeah.
The next thing you know that they're on the streets and these shelters. No. There's certain shelters that I don't even recommend.
Absolutely
you
not.
Know, so,
bed bugs.
No, exactly. Exactly. So it's amazing how with many of them, they go through it, and then when they come, let's say they come to you, and then when they come to you, you inspire them to, let's do HVAC.
Yeah.
Because I remember a brother that I had sent to you, and he took the HVAC, and when he came back, he brought his little after going through the
EPA,
the months and all that. He brought all that back. I took pictures of him. He was so happy, and he's working.
Yes.
And he's making good money.
Oh,
so I said, you make more money than me.
That's what I said.
But I wouldn't want to do your job, so
no,
that's
me
good.
neither.
Right.
I might get my nails dirty, but I said, I might have to take up a course. Like, what is going on?
Yes.
Yeah, but that makes me, that makes me happy when I get to see that process. But just like I know that you're the kind of person, you're always looking to tackle the next adventure, and you kind of tie it all in together, which is something that I really want to do. And the reason why I kept talking about New Beginnings is because I want to actually start doing motivational speaking.
Okay.
There's been something in my spirit for a long time. And I'm like, listen, you do this every day at work.
Right. That's right.
I do it every day at work. And I said, I'm ready to take it to a next step.
Well, here's the thing, because I was just speaking to my videographer, we were talking about next steps. The steps that we have to take.
Yeah.
Because I was saying to him, you know what? Anything that we're doing, it comes in steps. And all the blessings that's coming to me right now, if I had gotten them sooner, I would not have been ready for that. And then I would have to repeat the steps. So what you're going through right now, you're going through the preparation stage.
Yeah.
You're getting ready for it because you've been doing it.
Right.
You know, so when it's time, it's going to happen.
Yeah. I'm one of those impatient people. I'm ready to yeah.
Exactly. And that's how most of us are, because when we see we want something, we want it, not understanding that, okay, this is a process. And then I'm looking at it, it's not my time, it's God's time.
Right.
So I have to be patient. And when we're patient, we start seeing how everything comes together.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. And that's funny because right before I came down here, I had a conversation with a student. And what I said to her was, I don't even know, it just came out. I said, you know, when people talk to you, you have to listen. I said, because it's not just them speaking. Sometimes that's God speaking to you.
That's right.
You know, and so that's the message to the messenger. They're pushing the message out.
Right.
And I told her, and because she was going through a few things, and I can kind of relate, because I'm a passionate person. If I see something in somebody that I know I've already experienced in my life,
yes,
then sometimes I'm like, okay, no, I need you to understand that I've been there before, and it makes me even want to go harder for you.
Right.
But the bad part is, can't go too hard, because if that person doesn't want to do it, then it becomes a letdown.
Yeah, and you're right, because they have to want it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what needs to be done. They have to want it.
Yeah, gotta want it.
And it's just like when brothers and sisters are incarcerated, right? See, those of us who are family members who have family members that are incarcerated, we want them home.
Oh yeah.
But they have to want to be home by not doing the things that brought them there in the first place. So we want it for them, but they have to really want it for themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
And so everything is a process. That's why that's why you said earlier, we don't judge. Because it's a process.
It's definitely a process, and especially with reentry, because this person has to come home, get used to life all over again, and not in the institutionalized manner that they've been used to for
exactly.
And it's not easy. I see the struggle.
It's sad.
The struggle.
You're right.
Yeah, it's not easy. And some young men and women, I'll say, okay, we got to keep you busy.
Yeah.
Because if we don't keep you busy, and they will tell you, I need to be doing something now because I'm afraid that if I'm not doing this, I may possibly do that.
And when they say that to me, this is what I say to them. I'll say, well, okay, if you do that, that's your choice.
Yep.
You chose to do that.
Right.
You know, you cannot blame somebody else because of a choice that you made.
Right.
So you want to be busy and everything, that's good. But if you make a decision, remember, it was your choice.
Yeah.
And you can't blame anybody for that. I had a brother who sent me a text, and the text said that he didn't want to do anything crazy, right? So I looked at it. So I sent him a text back, and of course I used a 50-cent quote.
I know it. I know it.
And I said, well, 50 says that he's trying to be the person that he's destined to be.
That's right.
And you need to be the person who you're destined to be. And so then he texted me back. He said, okay, Miss Bay.
Yeah.
And then he came down and I interviewed him. And today he calls me.
Good.
So he's going to the program that I recommended him to go to.
That's good.
And see what they need people like us, brothers and sisters like us, who are going to guide them.
Right.
Because really, that's what they're looking for, guidance, because you said a key word earlier. You said fear. See, a lot of them are afraid because we're asking them to do something that they've never done. It's just like, I can't be a drug dealer.
Right.
Because I told them that. I said, I can't stand in the corner because I have to, I got to have a piece of paper to write everything down. I can't do that. You guys do this is all in your head.
Right.
Right? So
entrepreneurs without even knowing it.
Exactly. So if you ask me to do what they're doing, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I can't do it. Now we're asking them to do what we're doing. They're feeling uncomfortable because that's not what they're used to do.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to be patient with them and don't judge. And they don't have to have been in prison. This is just in general. What
Oh,
people
yes.
are going through, like you said earlier, with the COVID, losing their homes, losing family members, and now you're expecting me to act normal?
Yes. And
Yeah.
do what you're suggesting that I do.
Right.
It might not even been a thought in my head yet, and I'm just supposed to conform.
Right.
I know.
Right.
Yeah. It's difficult.
So people don't realize that the work that we do, what it's doing for us, it is making us, giving us more expertise in order to help the brothers and sisters that we want to help.
Oh yeah,
Because if we
absolutely.
haven't done it, we can't talk about it.
No, not at all. And I'm a firm believer. You got to put the work in.
Yes.
And I even tell them, I say, listen, you got to be accountable, because I'm not going to hold your hand.
Right.
I'm gonna keep my hand on your back, but I'm not gonna hold your hand. You
Right.
gotta be accountable, because sometimes people will just say, "Well, I'm a product of my environment. I'm a creature of habit." But we can evolve.
That's right.
Evolution is true. So
That's right.
You may be that. I tell people about myself all the time. I'm a product of a single parent household. I'm a product of drug and alcohol addicted parents.
Right.
You know, I'm a product of being raised in the projects.
Right.
You know, I'm a product of, going through things that most young people go through, getting pregnant at an early age, going through those things, making some bad choices. But it was something in there, it was some accountability in there for me that I always knew that I wanted more. And I always try to hold on to that. When I was a little girl, I had a dream that I lived in a castle. And I don't know why I decided to hold on to this dream. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And there's this one dream. It was just a simple dream. I was a little girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're still holding on to that?
I'm still holding on to it.
Beautiful.
I don't know why I can't forget it.
Probably because that's who you are. But you gotta take all the right steps to get to that castle.
What are some steps, I tell you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but again, it's preparing you to get there.
Yeah.
That really is what it is. And you know what, Angie? What I thought about when I think about all the stuff that I've been through in my life and still going through, I am now looking at those who lived before us and who went through all of these things, and then as a result, they became the person that they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like I look at Jesus Christ, like what he went through.
Right.
I look at the people that's in the Bible, in the Quran, and what they all went through for them to get to who they were supposed to become.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No, it's not.
But so here it is, we are still standing because a lot of people have been broken by a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And now I understand that when we go through or when we grow through what we're going through, it makes us the person that we were supposed to be. And then what that becomes is that we live our purpose.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And I always say that I'm like, I feel like my main purpose is to help people. And then I'm like, I have a message or I have something to give to be able to help people, like to live through that. But sometimes just saying that you're here to help people, there's so many different avenues. And,
Exactly.
and in turn of helping people, you help yourself.
Every time I give a lecture, right? When I was working at Delaney Hall and I would give a lecture and they would say, "Oh, that was a great lecture." I said, "Well, that wasn't for you. That was for me."
That's great though.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because what happens is like when we're going through something, I know like with myself, when I'm going through something and I go and I read something and then I bring it back to a group, that helps them because it was for me, but when it's shared with them, you find out that you're not the only person that's going through something.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
That does. That makes a lot of sense.
And so now that you've decided that you want to be a motivational speaker, no, you're already that. No,
Right.
Don't say I want to be, because you're already doing that.
That's true.
That's already happening. All it's doing is preparing you for the big stage, for the castle.
For the castle.
Right.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And sometimes, like you said, sometimes we be so busy. I know it myself, like now that my life has completely changed because I have a 19-year-old, I have a 15-year-old, and I have a soon-to-be 18-month-old baby and a 2-year-old granddaughter.
Nice.
So
Oh, wow. Well, see, on our travels, we have so much that we're doing. And now with this travel, we're ending up. And I want to ask you, do you have any last comments you want to make to the audience?
Okay. I just want to let you know that I am here for you at National Career Institute, and I'm located at 134 Evergreen Place on the 2nd floor. I have programs for individuals that don't have high school diplomas. We offer trade programs and electrical assisted HVAC. Soon, we will have a general construction program starting, I believe, in sometime October or November. And I do offer medical programs with clinical medical assistant, comes with externship, and we will definitely be able to help you pursue an even higher degree in the medical field because my credits are transferable to college institutions. With some, you can start as a sophomore in college, straight from a 9-month program from NCI. So.
All right, and that NCI is located in East Orange, New Jersey.
That's right.
And my name is Maryam Bay, and thank you so much for joining us today, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.